Hello everybody and welcome to Favorite Rugby on Favorite Sports for today's Rugby World Cup Team of the Week for the first round. 8 games, 16 teams, a lot of players on display, and we've managed to whittle down to a 15-man team of top performers and standout performances over the weekend. Now, when it comes to a team of the week, it's always going to be quite contentious. There are always going to be some very unlucky players to miss out. There's always going to be some players who some people might disagree with and stuff. And that's why I want your input. That's why I want you guys' comments down in the comment section. Let me know what changes you would make, which players you agree with, which you don't agree with, what your team would look like. But also justify it. Don't just go say this guy was better than this part. Don't give it a little bit of input as to why certain players you think had a better weekend than this player or that player. As I said, lots and lots of different players, and there's a couple that really are very unlucky to miss out. But before I show you the team, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And this is what we've got a bit of input from some of the boys at doing the watch along. So whilst this is my final team, there was some input there, and this is what we've got. Right, so it represented, we have got South Africa, England, Australia, Wales, Ireland, France, and Fiji, all getting players into the team of the week. So, yeah, there are quite a few nations missing. As I said, unfortunately, it's very difficult to try and link everybody in here. And we'll talk about in every position certain players who maybe were unlucky to miss out. So if you look at the pack, we'll start with the pack. Front row, I've gone with Stephen Kitsoff. I thought Reddy Wadi had a pretty good game, as did Angus Bell for Australia. But I thought that Stephen Kitsoff really did scrum very well, was very good in the loose, carried the ball as well. I thought that he had a really top game for South Africa. I think he's one of probably the form loose head prop in the world right now. He's become so mature these days. Obviously brings a big part of his leadership as well to the team. Jamie George, I thought was one of the best games I've seen him play in quite a while. It was a much better England performance, and the pack really showed up before George Ford masterclass, and I thought that he was pretty relentless throughout the game. Carried very well, tackled very well, set piece was pretty solid. So yeah, that's the Jamie George that was in British Lions series and stuff. He's one of the top hookers in the world when he gets it right, and I thought this weekend he looked close to his best, as did Tinea Tupou, who what a player to watch. Phenomenal in the loose, very solid at scrum time, absolute unit of a man. But has got a fantastic skill set. I mean, we saw him intercept tries, throwing long passes on the break. It was the marauding Tinea Tupou that every team fears. Seeing a tight head prop with that kind of size, that kind of skill set, and that kind of pace is a sight to behold. And he looked really good this weekend. Lots were quite difficult. I've gone with Will Rowlands and Franco Mostert. I thought Mario Tojo was better this weekend, for example. And I thought there were a couple of other locks in and around the games who did stand up. Joe McCarthy, for example, for Ireland, I was very impressed with what I saw from him. I think other locks, for example, Bekatava for Japan had a pretty solid game. It was against Chile, for example. And I suppose that's also kind of comes into it, doesn't it? It's good performances versus weak team versus good performances versus great team. So, for example, Italy had a very good game against Namibia and don't have any players in here, and that was very difficult to try and to do, to be honest. So I've gone with Will Rowlands. Who I think made about 27 tackles, got absolutely everywhere. I think that he's going to be a huge player for Wales. He has hit the cap limit, well not limit, but prerequisite to be able to play outside of Wales and still play for Wales. So he's going to play for them for many years. We really got to know him quite well last year in the South African series, and I thought that I think he's going to be absolute world class. And next time I thought Franco Moss had a brilliant game, and I was glad to see that when I was doing my player rating show that a lot of people were agreeing with me. He looks back to the best of me. He carried well. He tackled relentlessly. He was brilliant at the lineouts. Just an absolute workhorse and great energy around that park. The hardest thing for me was the loose trio. I mean, how do you leave out a Peter O'Mahony? How do you leave out a Peter Steph Toy? How do you leave out a Ben Earl, for example? Lorenzo Canoni, one of my favorite players in World Rugby at the moment, was absolutely phenomenal against Namibia. There were so many standouts. Francois Croce was good. Charles Levon was good. That entire French loose trio were very good. Artie Severe was pretty solid. I could name so many other players across the different teams and across the weekend. But I've gone with Courtney Laws, Ty Byrne, and Gregory Eldred, which is maybe not the most balanced loose trio in that you probably have one of a Courtney Laws or a Ty Byrne. But for me, they were just the top performers. I thought Courtney Laws was the Courtney Laws that we haven't seen in the last year. fronted up physically, got over the advantage line, tackled really well. And I think really sort of galvanized his team when they went down to 40 men. And he's kind of a lead by example type of individual. Doesn't say a lot. He's not incredibly vocal, but he just gets to a lot of work. And then Tyke Byrne, I mean, I think in the strongest team he goes to lock, and I think that they can then get a Josh van der Fleer into that side with a Peter O'Mani as well as a Caleb Doris. And it's amazing how good that Irish pack is. But he just he was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. One of the best utility forwards in the world at the moment, if not the best. And then Gregory Aldrit gets a shout at 8. Man of the match performance in the World Cup opener, was absolutely everywhere. Pick up and goes, as we know him, carrying the ball well a lot. Very, very good. I thought Lorenzo Canoni was brilliant. I thought Jasper Wies was pretty solid. Benner was very good for England. There were lots of very good individual performances at 8 across the weekend. So that was quite difficult to pick. The South African, or third actually South African that gets into this team is Faf de Klerk. I thought that he managed the game brilliantly. I thought he kicked really well. People don't like it. I think a lot of people don't understand it. And everyone was there saying he just kicks possession away. Any scrum off for South Africa will kick exactly the same amount. And they do tailor-make the game plan according to a scrum off. So they know that he and Jaden Hendricks have got really good box kicking games. Therefore, in games where we need to use that, where that's the tactic that's employed, they will play. But I thought that, his defensively was very good. I thought his distribution was pretty good. I thought he actually did up the ante quite a few times. But his game management, I mean, his 22, his box kicking were always sort of just outside 22, were really, really well weighted. It was giving a lot of opportunity for us to contest and win a lot of that ball back. So I thought on his 50th cap, I thought he had a really, really good outing. And then 10, I got George. You have to go to George Ford. He scored all 27 points, didn't he? For England. I was really, really, really impressed with the Romanian 10, Vivasa. I think he's going to be a very exciting player. Very keen to watch him this weekend. Johnny Sexton looked absolutely effortless in that Ireland game. Finn Russell didn't have the best attacking game because he didn't have a great pack, but I thought his defense was fantastic. I thought Matthias Jalabert had a great game on Friday night. Really, I think silenced a couple of doubters. Not that he really actually silenced a lot of doubters, but so there were lots of very good individual performances at 10, but you've got to give it to the George Ford masterclass, which almost single-handedly won England the game. I mean, 3 drop goals, missed 1 penalty, it just was absolutely flawless. In terms of the wings, I've gone with Mark Nawangani-Tawase from Australia, who looks the real deal, doesn't he? Absolutely world-class. Scoring tries, competing for the ball, X-Factor type player, once in a generation player potentially. Very, very exciting player. And then Demian Peno should have scored 2 tries, maybe a slight error not having the ball in the right hand. It was a great cover tackle, though, from Richie Mwanga. Not the first time he's done it, but finished very well, but always looks very, very dangerous ball in hand. Kurt Lawrence had a good game. Josh Adams, I thought, was fantastic for Wales as well. So there's some very good performances that went across the weekend, but I've gone with those 2. Mark Talea scoring 2 tries. Probably feels a bit robbed. But yeah, I could have gone with a lot of different players. In the centres, I've gone with Bandi Aki, who I thought he's my player of the weekend, to be honest. I think him and George Ford are probably, would have been my picks for player of the weekend. I thought that he arrived with an intensity that was unmatched. His running lines, his defense, his attacking impetus. I thought every time he touched the ball, something was happening. And next to him, I've gone with the absolute world-class YC Nathalevu, who is potentially right now the form 13 in the world. I mean, what a performance from the Fijian. It's just he's such an exciting player. It's always something happening with ball in hand. Powerful, captain of Fiji. Almost got them over the line. But 33 years old, coming to the twilight of his career. I mean, he's an absolute unit. He sits at about 1.93, over 100 kgs. And it was a really nice, very, very good performance from him. Very, very inspirational type player. And he's definitely one to watch out for the rest of the World Cup. And then at fullback, I've gone with Ben Donaldson, which, Thomas Ramos was very good, for example. And in fact, I had a very tough time not picking him. I thought Bowden Barrett actually played very well for New Zealand as well. Hugo Keenan, for example, has always been highly involved in Ireland. I thought the Chilean fullback was very good from what I saw from during that match. I didn't manage to watch all of it, but when I did watch, I was very impressed with him. I've gone with Ben Donaldson, who was the first time he actually started at fullback for Australia. Kicked very well for Poles, made such good decisions, which is what Eddie Jones said that is such an exciting thing. Lots of players have got the X factor, lots of players have got everything they need to be top players, but don't always have the mentality and the decision-making ability to back that up. he very much does seem to be the real deal. So this young Australian side, yes, against Georgia, so tougher tasks do loom for them. But yeah, lots of very nice individual performances. That's my team. What do you think? Where would you change? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and I'll see you guys all next time.